On today's episode of the movie vlog, it's official, Venom is in the same reality as Spider-Man. The new cop drama The Force gets a release date, and Fox sets 6 new release dates for their Marvel-based films. Hey guys, welcome to the movie vlog. I'm John Campea, and let's jump right into it. A little while ago, Spider-Man Homecoming producer Amy Pascal caused quite a bit of an uproar when she kind of made the suggestion that maybe Venom was in the MCU. This caused Kevin Feige to make the face, and generally caused everybody else a lot of confusion. It got more confusing when a little while later, Kevin Feige made seemingly contradictory comments when he said that only Spider-Man was in the MCU from the rest of those Sony property titles. However, now in a brand new interview, Amy Pascal and Kevin Feige seem to have clarified the situation a little bit, with Amy Pascal saying the following. First, there is Spider-Man, happily in the place where he is supposed to be, which is in the Marvel Universe. I think everything comes from that. This is the signpost, the tentpole, the signature, and the other movies that Sony's going to make in their relationship to this Marvel Cinematic Universe Spider-Man take place in this separate Sony world. Although you're not going to see them in the Marvel Universe, it's in the same reality. Now, it's important to note that Kevin Feige was sitting right beside her when she made those comments, and this time he didn't make a face, and instead followed up by saying the following: "That's the perfect answer." So what exactly do these two mean when they're saying that none of the other Sony characters are in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but they're all in the same reality? Here's how I interpret it. Think about the Netflix Marvel shows. Those characters where they're talking about Daredevil or Luke Cage, they are not in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, really. We don't see either of those guys popping up in any of the movies. We don't see Hawkeye showing up on the set of Jessica Jones. They're not really in the same cinematic universe. However, they are absolutely in the same reality. Since throughout Jessica Jones and Iron Fist and Luke Cage and Daredevil, every once in a while, we hear them drop references to things that happen in the Marvel Cinematic Universe without them ever actually crossing over. I think that's going to be the same situation for this new Sony-verse with Venom, Black Cat, Silver Sable. While I think they are in the same reality, and I think you're going to hear those movies reference what's going on with Peter Parker and things in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, we're never actually going to see those characters cross over. So yes, Venom is in the same world as Spider-Man. He will probably be aware of Spider-Man, and maybe even their stories will have more connection. Now remember, when Amy Pascal made her first comments, she said that there is possibilities that Tom Holland's Spider-Man may pop up in Venom. He may pop up in Silver Sable and Black Cat. We don't know, and now we know why that's possible, because it's in the same reality, even though they're not in the MCU per se. All right, let's move on to this. A 2019 release date has been set for the dirty cop movie The Force, based on the novel of the same name, again to be set in 2019. Now, they've also announced that The Force is going to be directed by James Mangold. Of course, James Mangold is the director behind this year's best film so far, Logan. But they went one step further. They got multiple Academy Award nominated writer David Mamet, who also wrote Glengarry Glen Ross, to write the screenplay. Now, he was also nominated for Best Director for 1982's The Verdict and 1997's Wag the Dog. So right now you have this incredible director attached with this incredible premise. I gotta admit, I've got a soft spot for dirty cop movies. With an Academy Award level writer, this sounds exciting. I'm looking forward to this one. All right, and finally we'll end with this. Fox has announced 6 brand new release dates for their Marvel-based property movies, and those 6 are on top of the 3 release dates we already know about. The New Mutants coming out on April 13th, 2018, Deadpool 2 coming out on June 1st, 2018, and of course X-Men Dark Phoenix on November 2nd, 2018. Now, they're being joined by these 6 new dates. In 2019, we've got June 7th and November 22nd. On 2020, we have March 13th, June 26th, and October 2nd. And in the year 2021, March 5th. Now, at this point, I think it's a pretty safe bet to think that some of those 6 release dates will be for films like Deadpool 3, an X-Force movie, a New Mutants movie, and most certainly more X-Men proper movies. But here's something to think about. Doesn't matter how many times they fail. Fox representatives have been pretty insistent that they're not giving up on the Fantastic Four franchise. Could one of these dates actually be for another kick at the can at the Fantastic Four? Look, I know a lot of us think they should just send the damn property back to Marvel, and I happen to be one of those. But they seem to be pretty stubborn on this. They want to make Fantastic Four work, and one of these 6 dates could possibly be it. Look, let's put it this way. If one of these 6 dates going all the way to 2021 isn't Fantastic Four, then the rights are probably going to lapse, and they're probably going to have to end up sending it back to Marvel anyway. I think it's a good 70% chance one of these dates is going to be a Fantastic Four movie. Okay guys, well the most important thing here is I want to know, what do you think of Amy Pascal's comments about Venom being in the same reality as Spider-Man? Are you looking forward to The Force in 2019? And do you think one of those Fox release dates could be Fantastic Four? Jump into the comments section and let me know. Hey guys, make sure you are subscribed to this YouTube channel, and make sure you're following me on social media, on Facebook and on Twitter, simply @JohnCampea. That'll do it for me guys. Thanks so much for joining me, and until next time, bye-bye.